little touch-up on the Tacoma TRD customized skid plate. Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. That's right, today I need to do a little bit of touch-up work on my Tacoma TRD customized skid plate. Now, what this is, you guys can see it, it is right under there. I actually bought a stock or OEM TRD skid plate right there. I painted it black, actually with bed liner, and then also replaced the TRD lettering you can see there with Voodoo Blue, which, by the way, those come from Tough Skins. If you're interested in that or many other awesome products they have, there is a discount code available. It is RobMotive 10 for 10% off your order. And while I'm speaking of discount codes, if you're looking for Toyota parts like this skid plate itself, you can get that from Sparks Parts and use discount code RobMotive for 5% off your order. Now, what I'm going to do, I've messed with this a little bit recently because, you know, I had the truck re-lifted, so I took it off and scratched up or chipped off some of the paint on the bolts and stuff like that. And then I think either in handling it or just having it on the truck, there are a few chips underneath there that I want to take a look at and touch up, so that now that the plate is on there permanently, I don't plan to take it off again for any reason, we can actually see how it fares over time being under there and painted. So I'm going to pull the Tacoma up on the lift here where we can get it up in the air and take a good look at it, see what kind of shape it's in, and then do any little touch-up that I need to do. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I don't want to whip out the rattle can and spray paint all over the garage. So I'll show you my method to touching up these little chips. It's pretty simple. And then we'll take a look once it's done, and then down the road we'll be able to see how it's holding up if that paint is chipping up and it becomes a real pain to keep it black. Okay, got the truck all up in the air now. We're going to take a look at the skid plate. I do see some chips and stuff in it. We'll take a look at the shackles on here as well, these D-rings, to see how they're holding up. I did paint those as well. And by the way, I believe I was the first one to do this mod on the web. So if you're interested and you want to see how I did it, there'll be a link down below. You guys can check out how I actually got my skid plate like this. It is awesome. So anyway, let's do a little inspection real quick, from close up, I guess. The D-rings have held up really well. I don't see any chipping at all on the D-rings. Nothing I can see. Maybe a little bit right there. Maybe a little bit right there. But that's about it. As far as the skid plate itself, of course we've got the paint chipped off of the screws because I had to put it back on. And then there are some chips. You can see one here. There's one there, and then over here there's one there, and some over here on the edges. A couple little chips. If you see any water dripping there, by the way, might as well check this out while we're under here. This is my drain line for the air conditioning drain, the one that would typically drip all over the frame here. You know, Toyota's big frame problems. This gets the water away from the frame. And it's held up very well. It's working just like it's supposed to work. You guys can see there's water dripping or running out of there because I just took the truck for a drive. But that's a pretty cool thing too, I think, and pretty easy to do. Back here, there's a chip there. So we do have a few chips around. I don't really see anything on the bottom. Here's one, here's one. But that's about it. Pretty minor, really. There's a little one. So I am gonna just touch these up, and I'm going to do that with just some flat black paint to get this to focus. There we go. I'm going to use Q-tips because I don't want to spray it. I do have a rattle can. This is bed liner, and I could just blast it, but if I do that, number one, I'm going to get paint all over the place. I don't want to get it on my D-rings here, of course, and I don't want to get it on the TRD lettering that I put in here. So that's why we're not doing it that way. And flat black should be just fine because it's just to knock off that shiny silver, pewter, whatever color the skid plate was initially. Kind of just to knock that off so that you can't see it. I don't know if you really would even see it unless you get up close like we just did. I mean, looking at it here, I really doubt you can spot chips unless you're looking for them. So again, just a Rust-Oleum flatback black paint. Shake this up and dab it in a few places. You could Line-X this thing if you wanted to as well. It's going to cost you quite a bit more money. All I had to pay for was a can of paint. This is the paint that I used. Just picked it up at Lowe's. So it's going to cost you a lot less to buy a can or two of this than to take it in and have it professionally Line-X. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. So let me go ahead, shake this thing up, and then I'm going to go ahead and touch up these spots, and then we'll take a final look and we'll be done. Okay, got it all done, got everything touched up. You guys can see there in high speed. There were a few spots, it wasn't a ton, and again, I'm not so sure that some of that wasn't done while it was being stored and me finagling it around trying to get it back on. Certainly the screws were, but you guys can see right now, looks good as new. A few water spots on it, of course, but all of the shiny spots, or the few shiny spots I should say, are gone. So the good thing about doing this too is if you do have any spots like that, it's pretty easy just to touch them up with a little bit of flat black paint. I mean, you don't have to go crazy. And if it gets bad enough, I'll just go ahead and take it off, take the letters out, and respray the whole thing. So it's a pretty simple and cheap way to have a pretty pronounced look on the bottom of the truck. I mean, check that out. I think it just looks cool. Though that, along with the D-rings or shackles or whatever you want to call them on there, is pretty darn awesome. Anyway, just wanted to kind of show you guys how I take care of the skid plate on the Tacoma there, given that I've modded it and painted it. Pretty cool mod, I think. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Something you'd do, or nah, you'd pass. Also, real quick, don't forget to check out my other channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. And we've got a few mods sitting over there for it. You may have noticed one mod back here for the Tacoma as well. We'll get to that in another video. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.